All right, it's getting hot in here. Ayo, bling. So Alex, buddy Alex, got a cool little fuse box here. Man, this is some old school fuse box action going on here. Maru. It says Maru in there. Well, now the force is here. It's time for me to go. Oh my god, reads the dark side. I freaking knew it. I knew it. Oh man, look at that action. So the high poly looks really nice for that. Dude, that bake padding though, crazy. So I think your albedo may be a little too dirty. I think taking that dirtiness information and just keeping it in your roughness is probably the best route to go. Or just toning down the kind of grungy look that's going on to about half, because your roughness should carry most of that. Your AO looks pretty good, but I'm curious like as to why it feels like the AO is not happening much around the metal parts. Is this being rendered in, this might be a Marmoset toolbag this is being rendered in. Yeah, if you guys want to start embedding Maru's name into all of your work, I'm totally not going to fight that. We need to make a sticker image so you guys can just start putting the sticker of Maru in it. I have it. It's like half made. I need to just finish it. Anywho, this is, the high poly for this is great. Low poly looks really good. It has enough geometry to sell all the shapes. These little bolt things here look a little high poly. And then, yeah, I think the only comment that I have is like toning down on the dirtiness here and then being careful with how much dirtiness you put into your normal map. I guess if it's being rendered in Marmoset toolbag, then you're probably going to have to do that because you can't just make it happen with detail normals and painting a mask for where that happens. There's also a little bit of stretching here, and you're probably going to want to be careful with too much uniform edge wear. Other than that, pretty sick. Pretty sick. I would love some tape on this, by the way. This thing looks like it's it just hasn't had the love that the rest of the scene has had. And this part actually feels out of place material-wise. I'm not sure why that is. But it feels lighter for a strange reason. Like that's probably the same type of metal that's here, right? Anywho. Nonetheless, looks pretty cool. Pretty nice stuff, man. Next up, Dad AK. Dad AK. I like your little logo there. Where are you at, Discord? So this is Unrealer, I take it. I could be wrong. Did I click on the wrong? Hang on here. Fuse box. Oh, I started backwards. That's freaking hilarious. All right, well, we're just gonna keep going backwards. Neil, it's an old piece, but would like to know what points to keep in mind when creating new environments or dioramas, composition, lighting, anything. And as this guy. So, man, this side area, dude, looks really cool. I think so. Compositionally. Well, I guess first off, let's look at the scene as like the space, right? Later, graffiti. So the rock type behind here versus the rock type of the cave itself, those shapes, like these are either placed or this is wrong somehow, right? So like getting the background of the rock that this is embedded into, it's really important that feels like they're coming from the same space. And then the back area here, that's kind of interesting. The back area inside of the mouth, let's making sure that come on, internets, you got this. Grass looks pretty good. Evenness wise, it feels like maybe it should be a little bit more of a path in the middle. Is there a way to render a prop in UE4 or Unity to like remove alpha and then with good lighting? I think there's a scene you can buy in the marketplace that's Chaos is going to help you, it looks like. Do it, Chaos. But like getting some breakup in the grass and then clearing a path for the space. And then getting grass inside of here, little pieces and stuff. There's like water down there. What? There's water down here. That's interesting. This is pretty cool. So this actually really needs a detail normal. That way the fidelity is held up. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's getting low res as you get closer to it. And then if the roughness between the rock and the paint were different, that'd be a huge win, I think. So these, when a fire is burning, it varies in its brightness, right? And I feel like that's not happening currently in the lighting. And I guess it's maybe because the lighting is baked. If there's a way to mix the lighting in which you can actually get the lights on the side to pulse a little bit more, they'll look pretty nice. So with this cave, I think having this go back into the distance and squirming back there and then little lights that trickle off into the distance is probably going to be pretty compelling. And then I'm not sure how there's lights in the eyes. You know? I think if maybe there were more of a presence of candles there and maybe candles on the inside, that could be pretty cool as like a way to get that effect. But yeah, in general, I think spending a little bit more geometry on the rocks and thinking about it as like a path, like think about people walking to it. That's and then this is very centered up in a lot of your shots. Like this shot's pretty cool. As long as you're coming up on it, like, and it's slowly going in. And the rocks curving like that doesn't really happen in real life, as far as I know. So when I look at it from this angle, it's much more intriguing and like seeing the standing characters. I think if these were straight up and more facing the viewer on approach, it's like having these figures that are facing you. That's another way to kind of like push the composition a little bit more. I feel like my phone was vibrating, but I'm like looking around. I see no phone. Yeah. Varying your grass length as well could be pretty nice. This is really good. Some breakup here. Cool. I mean, yeah. I think the stuff that I pointed out was a pretty good amount of things. This is pretty rad. The skulls feel like maybe they're too white. If that makes sense. Maybe they should have a little bit more age yellowing to them. But yes. All right. Next up, big snow. Big snow. That's a big amount of snow. There's a lot of snow there. Later, Chaos. Thanks for hanging out. So this is Maddie. This is actually in Unity. Oh, that's cool. Oh. All that variety. Oh, man. So the scratch... Oh, dude, those are awesome. Those trees look dope. So the scratches feel a little procedural. I don't know how to get around that, though. maybe varying their lengths, and they're using a cloud to as like a propagation mask, like where it's the most white in that mask, it's putting the most scratches, and where it's the least white, it's placing the least amount of scratches. So the darker it is, the less scratches it has. These look great. Those rocks are pretty sharp, but I guess depending on how you're viewing the holy details, all the details. Oh, this is looking cool. Very nice. Yeah, getting some pathing in here, or making it feel like these rocks are kind of like the edge of the snow to the rock is kind of harsh. So either adding some like a snow pile mesh that you can place that kind of gives this look around the edges, is kind of like signify that there's more stuff happening under the snow. Hey, thanks for the 4-month Subaruni. That's 4 months in a row, man. A JK. I don't know if you're JKing anymore, man. You're just an now. Thank you very much. So I think these trees, I don't know if it's there, but I think they need an AO pass just to kind of get that volume back in there. This is crazy though, man. You baked all that stuff out. It's actually pretty impressive that you're getting your MIPS to hold up so well. Like the alpha holding up through the MIPS is a difficult thing with small details like that. They just like melt together as you get further away. Man, I love this. That's tessellated too, huh? Super cool. Yep, this is coming along nicely. Yeah, and you got that normal action going on pretty well too. Looks like you have volumized your foliage. Let's see if I just scroll up here real quick. That's pretty cool, man. And you're selling this too. Or you're going to be. It's an asset pack after all. Anyways, dope. Dope. Looks good, man. Canon. Canon. Oh, I love this. This area here is feeling pretty good. This is an old Canon, my friend. So with the Canon being this old, this metal should get really, like, is that like gold? Should get real tarnished, you know? This is Fosco. For first time texturing a Substance Painter, working on renders in Marmoset now. First image is their first Marmoset render. So this is the... Yeah, so I think getting a little bit more, like, dirtiness to the gold parts is going to help ground those pieces. But, like, this wheel here is pretty awesome. Details looking real nice. The gold... That gold pipe is for lighting the gunpowder. I think you pour the gunpowder into that little pipe area. Where's that at? What are you talking about? This thing here? True brass. Yeah, it must be brass. So, motorcycle. It's a motorcycle outside. So what you do is actually, if I remember correctly, is that's kind of like a little scoop. So you would scoop explosive material, like gunpowder, and then put it down the barrel, turn it to the side so that it starts dumping out, and then you just shake it a little bit. Then you pull it back out, put the cannonball in, and then use the other side and just kind of push the cannonball to the back. You got to push that powder. Got to push it real good. Anyways, in general, this looks pretty awesome. I think the getting a separation between the wood, the brass materials. You clearly don't know history. This is for ice cream, bro. Jeez, do you even canon, bro? Do you even nick canon, bro? So, yeah, getting a separation between all your materials, like you get your brass, you got your wood, you've got your aged metals, and then you've got just wear and tear and aging on it, right? Getting those looking good is going to be real important. Getting the roughness variation between all of those materials is good. Like, one thing that's really nice about the brass right now is how much the roughness varies from the rest of the surfaces. But you got to be careful with it looking too pristine or clean. Like, I feel like if the back wheels are going to have that material as well, then this rim that's on the front wheels as well needs to be around that too, just to kind of protect it a little bit more. Pretty cool though. Pretty dope. All right, next up, gun. Next up, gun. This is Caspian, general feedback. I think this is Caspian, right? It's Caspian. Yeah, Canon. Let me make sure here. Yes. Okay. Big Snow, Canon. So this is Caspian. General feedback with focus on texture. Reference is a heavy machine gun from Doom 4. All right, let's just do this. Sorry, I blinded you guys. I'm sorry. Doom 4 guns. There's got to be some models of this stuff. Because one thing that I've noticed with their guns is they define the materials pretty separately with the roughness information. So, like, you see how you're adding this kind of like this noise to the normal? Try not to do that. Is even in this area here, just because like that starts to make it feel like it's more stone like. Man, just show me a gun, please. I'm looking for some reference. So I guess this one kind of works. So you can see how smooth the surface is. Yeah, and I mean when they use that much geometry, just go for it, right? When the character budget is your gun, you just do it. You just make it hot. But yeah, you can see how smooth the material is here. Where you would start getting some more textural information is when maybe it's like a plastic or a polymer that's kind of got a textural surface to it. Let me see if I can find any other. I mean, can I visit this portfolio? Oh, this is just going to Pinterest. Why? Go to Artstation. Which, by the way, in Artstation, did you know that if you go look at a piece of work now, and you mouse over someone and you just hold your mouse, it'll show you some of their work. Pretty cool. Anywho, let's see if we can find Doom. Doom gun. Doom gun? Doom gun. What's this one? So this kind of works. It's not necessarily a Doom gun, but it gets the point across. Like, a lot of the informational stuff that you're going to be looking at or looking for is like the stuff that's going to happen in the roughness, and then getting just those material separations. Like, see, this area is much more of like a rubber or a plastic, whereas this is metal, and this is like a different type of metal here, and this is a different type of metal. So you're getting like different roughness attributes in order to the El Trasho gun. Um, yeah, just the different variations in roughness and the way that they scratch and wear is how you want to try and build those materials. Dude, the best part of this, look at this. Oh, if I ever meet this person, he's gonna want to punch me. But yeah, and then getting some ambient occlusion in there. Yeah, Judd gets it. Making sure you have enough resolution. And just being careful with, yeah, I think it's just resolution and the way that the materials are wearing. The other thing too is the text. Right now it looks like you're projecting it on the surface, and you probably, instead of doing that, you probably want to make like a texture sheet of like all the stickers or decals, and then always making life easier. What do you mean? What did I do? I think that's the concept render. Let me look at this. Oh yeah, okay. Dang, look at those. Yeah, see the material differences. I mean, in this concept render, it's not very visible, but a lot of the surfaces are pretty smooth. And if there's going to be any damage, it's going to be inward damage, right? Like scratches or like dents. And then, like I was saying with these like little decal things, just like place them, make a texture sheet of it, and then place those on the mesh via floating quads. Textures are hard, man. At least they're easier than they used to be. We have roughness now and metalness, thank God. You found the in-game model? Hey, look at that. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so that's awesome. All right, this helps a ton. So these scratches and scrapes and stuff, see how they're exposing the metal? Instead of using a normal map, sorry for spam, worth it, good spam, canned, good spam. Instead of using normal information to separate the paint from the metal that's under the paint, using metalness and roughness to separate those is how you would want to approach that. Man, they really scratch the hell out of these things. That's crazy. You see though that they're very like localized to like where stuff tends to happen. And the front here is pretty blackened from all of the blasting of explosions and soot coming out of the, I don't know if it's soot, but like all the gunk coming out of the end of that gun. Yeah, this is good stuff. Man, this is a weird render because like there's like a cell shade edge to it too. It's odd. It's odd. Anywho, take that information and see if you can use it. I don't know if I think I got some good points in there. Oh snap! Jester here. Just so I want to move this to finish. It would be nice to get some eyes on this one. So this canister in the back here has like a line, right? It goes down. The fact that it lines up pretty close to the edge with this makes my brain feel like the scene is cutting there, and then there's something else going on. So maybe if there's a way to just move these canisters a little bit more to the right so that the canister ends here instead would help. Getting a little bit of life into the material of the skin for these bodies would be good. The snow feeling a little separated here. Like getting these to blend in a little bit more with the ground below it would be good. Maybe pushing some of those trees in the distance back a little bit more just to give you some room for separation and layering. Is this the paint over? I have no idea. No, this is not the paint over. Little rim lighting on the canisters. Yeah, the canisters are really diffused right now. Like, there's actually not a whole lot of roughness information happening here. Like, a little bit here. But overall, it's a very stylized... Oh, you're all happy. Oh, no, this is from UE4. This is no paint over. Looks good, though, man. I mean, so these wires, maybe these cables could have, like, a little bit of a highlight on them so that you can see there's some roughness information to it. There's definitely a need for more roughness material definition. But I mean, if you're going for the look that the concept has, concepts don't really have that, right? So I would just say push the elements in the background back a little bit more and see if maybe you can separate this ring from the roof a little bit as well. With, I don't know, some smoke or fog or dust or something. Dust, that doesn't make any sense. Just to separate these two a little bit. No, I'm not going to do this whole thing. I promise. I promise. Okay, maybe a little bit more. I don't think that ring is moving. Gets a little weird down here, but we'll just soften that a little bit. But you see how that separates that out? And then maybe separating the back over here a little bit more. Whoops. No, I've got the lazy brush. I hate you. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sold on it yet, but you see what I'm getting at. The lazy brush looks so painful. I mean, it's fine when you need it. But, yeah. Yeah. Michael, yeah, I will post those tonight for you. I got you, man. Where are we at here? Oh, snap. Man, this scene's coming together quick, buddy. Midweek work, composition time. Man, I love how blue your atmosphere is here. Oh man, look at this. Dude, this is interesting. I need to so that kind of works, right? I feel like that's actually more of the correct spiraling ratio. And in which case, yeah, I think it's doing it. But you can see how like your scene looks really wide. I don't know. It's like the building is much wider than it feel like it needs to be. I hope that didn't like screw with you and now you like can't unsee it. Din the mathematician. Dinmatician? No, I can't be a mathematician. Come on, man. America only teaches us math, not maths. They only got part of it right. So Wu said, one question I had for my portfolio is, do I look like I am ready for an environment artist in the game industry? Oh, so like a position. My previous employer was much more tech industry focused. Um, I mean, I think so. I think so. I gave some pointers on your most recent scene to adjust some stuff, but I mean, I think let's find out what studios you want to apply to. Message me in Discord and let me know what studios you're interested in, and then we can say what you might be missing that they would probably be looking for, if that makes sense. This scene's sick though, man. Let's see if you wanted me to say anything particular on it. Recommendations about composition. So we're going back. Man, this stuff is cool. It's like a storyboard, man. Yeah, being careful about that. Nailed it. Nailed it. These are, we call these tangents. Those are tangents. I wonder why that star is not much more forward. Like how come it's so far back? Like bring it forward or push these back a little bit and really make the star like big and maybe even like the center of it coming out at you. Man, that prop is sick. I love that style. This is great too. Oh my god. Oh my jeez. Uh so compositionally, so if we look at this one, it's a very wide angle. You could probably do with you already have so many things in the scene. You could probably do that. The other thing is an angle where it's like kind of eye level and stuff tends to be not as interesting naturally because we already see in that at that height. Like the average human sees at this height. So everything is kind of normal already. Whereas like when you start doing really low camera angles or really high up camera angles, getting angles that we don't normally see, it's much more interesting to our eyes. It's more interesting our brain just like, oh, I like this. Oh, Jesus. Some things to think about too is like knowing where your horizon line is. So like I'm getting that it's right around here, which is in a pretty good spot. This is there. You've got this guy here. it kind of does this as well, which is kind of interesting. This is breaking up the line, so that's good. So you want to make sure you break up those lines. So even like taking these guys and bringing them more forward so that they cover up that line, just to kind of give you get you doing this, and then it comes back in and then goes in, and like instead of having this solid and then you get a break here and then a solid there. Yeah. See, I feel like that star needs to be huge, or just more like forward. But in general, I think this composition is pretty interesting. It is very wide. I think with it being this wide, you might need to put this big guy here and move some smaller stuff there. And it's weird that the sky is so clear when there's so much stuff happening over here. Yeah. I'm not sure. This is a hard one to have interesting composition. Like this shot is really cool. Come on. There you go. This one's cool. Like you have the tangent stuff going on here, which if you fix that, then this shot is a really interesting angle. This one, the building is really close to the edge, so you got to be careful about like that. Just starts to weigh heavy in the back of your mind that it's so close to the edge here. Got to be careful with that. The star sitting on the. So if you. We're doing it. I'm just going to cut out the. I like those little. Spheres, by the way. So keep those. Look at that crazy action. That's kind of cool. I mean, you could even do it with the platform. Like, see this curve here? This curve could be the part of the platform. So it's very, like, leaning forward and like at you as you walk under it. I don't have too much to say otherwise on that. I mean, I keep building the scene. You'll find interesting angles as you keep going. But dude, I mean, looking at your portfolio, you're like pretty known for these giant scenes, man. So you make these massive, massive scenes. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to find an angle that looks good in there as long as you feel like you can complete it. Oh yeah, look at that table. Oh, I like the green. It's a good green color. This is Radionics 3D, if I picked it correctly. Just double check on that. Yes, yes it is. So this looks pretty cool. The wood looks maybe a little bit too saturated, and I think I need a higher res image to really know what's going on here. But the roughness looks pretty interesting, and I want to know, like, I can't tell if it's good or bad yet, the roughness, but I do like that the grain is showing like a different value versus the rest of the material. Maybe some, like, with all this aging, a little bit of desaturation and maybe some coffee like cup stains on the green surface. I think you can tell a pretty good story, but man, it really needs some like props on the top. It needs propping. All right, Sebastian Bear, 3D game art student. No comment other than the image. So right off the bat, cool scene, cool idea. Don't worry about your geometry, like poly counts and stuff like that. I can see that you didn't worry about it up here. That's cool. Making sure that these get the curve that is correct to the Spanish villa architecture style is important. And then making sure that your material tiles well. Right now you're failing on your textile density stuff. And the reason I say that is like you have this detail here that looks like it may be stretched. These details look pretty low res. Like maybe they could tile more. Especially when you compare it to the pillow here. Thinking about scale and looking at the floor. Later, Tobias. Have a good one. The floor tiling is very low tiled. Like you probably want to double the tiling amount on that just to get these a little smaller. If they're supposed to be that big, then the resolution is too low res. Like, see, this is pretty awesome. And then like you can tell that these are higher res than the ground. Like I feel like the material is just it's not lining up yet. And then this window again with the curve feels like an odd it was a bevel issue. Oh, this is cool. I like that. I think getting a little bit more organic and wild with the leaves is going to be important. Right now they all kind of look like they're propagated in the same areas, like they're just kind of following the spline. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's going on right now is scale in general. So you've got scale of your materials and scale of your assets. So like if I was sitting here, I guess my head is here, and then like this feels like it might be too short, unless, I don't know. The reason I'm saying that is because like I imagine my hand wraps around that, but then this thing is like the size of like a propane tank. And then these flowers are like, if I were to pick one and hold it, I feel like the flower head is maybe like this big. That's huge. Maybe it's supposed to be that big. But then I see the wine bottle, and the wine bottle is very small if that's the case. So just looking at your scale and stuff and trying to get that stuff locked down, it's not too bad. It's just you need to make sure that you're checking all that stuff, because like I've seen portfolios where like this chair, right, is next to this table, and you're like, oh, that's a cool idea. Like that makes sense. But then like you look at like the chair, and then maybe like the top part here just won't go into the table. Like that's not how they build those, you know? So just make sure that you're paying attention to that stuff, and don't worry about your poly counts. If it doesn't look round where it's supposed to be round, then you need to be adding more geometry in that area. And yeah. The scene in general is interesting though. Just make sure that you're checking your scales, checking the textile density. Pro with the interesting question. Do you have any furniture without coffee stains in real life, Dan? So when I was doing the mentorships the last time, I wrote the schedule on the fridge. Yeah, that's stuck on there. So that's stuck. So my mind cannot accept flawlessly clean materials because they don't look right in games right now. Something has to happen on a surface. Primarily in the roughness, well, the rest can be okay. So at just the right angle, you can tell, oh, there's something happening there. But yeah, something has to be a little dirty. I want some story, man. I want some story. But yeah, keep it up. Keep an eye on your textile density. I mean, the layout of the scene is really interesting. Just looking at the scale of everything. I highly suggest, let's see, this is in Unreal. So I highly suggest placing a character in here and just I know the guy is just like T-pose, but just just move stuff near him or lay him down even though he's T-pose in this chair and just see what it looks like. Put the canister kind of in his hand even if it doesn't work. Like that. Then maybe like move the planter thing with the flowers near his hands. And then look at a flower outside and see the scale of that versus the scale of the character in the game. Like just checking your scales. And just making sure that they're all kind of like unified in that sense. Have I been working on a game that's been leaked before? Yes, I have. How does it feel? It sucks, man. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say to that. It sucks. Oh, right. AK. It's AK time. AK. So this is Unrealer. This looks dope. I think this area right here is especially interesting, and I think it's because there's stuff happening. There's lots of details. There's roughness variation. Oh, snap. Yeah, look at that. Oh, man. See that kind of dirtiness stuff going on there? Oh, you got it. Ooh, that right there. That's good stuff, man. This is good. This is some Battlefield quality stuff right here. I mean, I know it sucks, but does it bum everyone out? I feel like people wouldn't be as motivated to keep on working. Don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just wouldn't. Like, oh no, they know that game is being made. But that's all they know. Maybe they leak the location or something. I mean, that sucks, but I don't know. I don't think it bums me out. Maybe I've been making games long enough where I just don't care in that regard. I'm more interested in making a really good game, and a leak isn't going to change how good that game is on my end. You know? So adding a Marmoset viewer to your Artstation. So first you buy Marmoset, right? But I don't know, like, I think when you're adding to your to your gallery, there's a link for a Marmoset viewer file, and then you just upload what Marmoset output. I think that's how it works. I've never done it before. So you sometimes suspect that companies leak stuff just to tease potential buyers. I mean, maybe. But I don't know. I think there's more payoff in actually putting money behind a proper like presentation versus a leak. Because a leak usually just misinforms, you know? Misinforming leads to unattainable expectations. Man, this is sick in here. I like this. This looks great, man. It weirds me out that oh, I love that pattern right there. It weirds me out that the materials aren't very separated in value. Like this is black. This feels like a different type of black, maybe. Could be nice if it was like a gray, like a dark gray. This handle feels like a different type of material to this, which is good. The tape around the clip, I mean, I guess that's not tape, is it? It's more of a professionally done. Yeah, it's like a, oh man. You even put that jazz in there. That's dope. Well, you only put 3 in there. Gotta put more in there, man. Just commit to it. Looks like a rubber band. It does look like a rubber band, which I think is how you'd want to do it. if it's a rubber band, you're probably not going to get that kind of pull in there. It's probably going to be more direct from tension point to tension point. And if it's a rubber band where you're getting a lot of the tension stretching, the rubber usually tends to become a little bit lighter just because you're pulling on it. Like if you ever look at a rubber band, like get a thick rubber band, like a really wide one like this, and stretch it, and where it's getting the most tension, it tends to be a little bit lighter. I'm not necessarily sure why that happens. I think maybe that's the color it is when it's thinner. No idea. But like a little bit of tension value shift on these areas would be good. Execution's pretty nice though, man. Some nice bake action. Yeah, that's the hot sauce. All right, next up, the toolbox. Dude, this is sick, man. Nice and dirty. This has seen some stuff. Density of the rubber and the light passing through. You think is it? I mean, obviously more light would pass through it, right? But it actually, like, it's like, say the rubber is a little bit darker, and then when you stretch it, it like becomes even lighter. Do you know what I mean? That might actually be it exposing more of the what do you call it? More of the rubber that's like not been directly exposed to the light. Maybe that's what's going on, because it is like separating the material. Anyways, this material here looks really good. The dirtiness is the hot sauce. Oh man, can it do it? So this is SketchUp's or Sketchfab's viewer, and my personal opinion, and this is just me, I feel like this viewer is actually hitting the material more accurately than what we're seeing in Marmoset's viewer. Yeah, Martin, I think that's more about what it is. And obviously there's a little bit more light diffusing through it too. But dude, like look at this inspector. Like how nice is that? They just need to give me a slider. Remember I keep saying this? They need to give me a slider so I can shift the roughness back and forth, just to talk about maybe like, oh, this value, if it was more to this range, that would probably look better. Matte cap surface. Oh yeah, see, look at that surface information. Very subtle. Little bit there, but it's very, very subtle. Wireframe, not too bad. It's interesting you modeled that, I guess because it sticks out. Oh yeah. Final render, no post-processing. Yeah, this is sick, man. This looks good. See the dirtiness versus the paint? That's awesome. Yeah, directly exporting from Sketchfab or from Substance Painter to Sketchfab is pretty sick. What would be really cool is if you could give someone a link for review that allows them to go from Sketchfab to Substance Painter, or a live link between the two. Can you imagine a live link? Like, dude, imagine if you could be looking at a model like this while I'm painting on it and streaming that happening. Like, streaming the Substance Paint in action. That'd be the sickest. Sketchfab has a UV checker. Does that actually display the UVs or apply a UV checker material to the mesh? UV checker to the mesh, which is good because then you can see texel density. So you can see how these this square here. You can see the squares on average are about the same size. So the texel density is pretty spot on. It's a little small or higher res in these areas, so. Why does it say UV4? You see that? Oh, that's just... What? So, okay, so 1. Pressing 1 again switches between that. So you can just like, oh man. Sketchfab. Sketchfab. You've won me. You've won me. This is sick. That looks good. Oh, there's some compression issues going on back here. That's why you normally see this kind of pixelated banding. Yeah, you can Sketchfab directly to Artstation. Anyways, this looks great. Well done asset. Nice use of bevels and little edges to help break the... I mean, when you look up here, look at that edge. Love it. It helps explain how things are put together. Super, super nice. Well done. Well done. All right. Where are we at here? Whoops. Whoopsies. All right, Martin, we got time for yours. The thing environment. Oh, yeah, dude, this is looking... That's not yours. What is happening? Oh, no. Making memes on Photoshop. I just want to scroll through the images and it won't let me. Pretty solid, man. This is the part where I realize that these shots are actually from the movie. And then I'm like, oh. It's like I'm an idiot. Oh, dude, that mood. It's great with the axe too, man. It's nice. The roughness feels a little tight there. Maybe like making it a little bit wider. I think that surface tends to be a little smoother as well. I like the detail on it. I think maybe if you just lower the strength of the normal a little bit, that'll help you. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we can make Sketchfab a verb. I'm down with that. This is great. Oh, I love the blue light coming out and casting on the materials here. I need to know how that axe is supported on the wall, because I think in the movie there's a nail, and I don't think there's a nail there. I thought there was something that it was hooking onto. It's not supported at the moment. All right. All right. But dude, this one, I really like this shot. I think in this angle, and I don't know if this is the blue room, the blue light coming across, but if this is, I would love to see a little bit of a blue cast on this, just to kind of bring that detail more closely to you. With 2 nails, that sounds about right. It would be a nail in the... It'd be a nail here and a nail here, probably, or here and here. So he just hooks up like that. Ghetto hooks. This is solid though, man. Lighting is the dopeness. The lighting is all over the place. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, I like to see this just because it lets me know that you're still human. This preview text upside down, I don't even know how you made it upside down. That's impressive to me. The AO is a little strong here. I guess you're tuning the screen space AO for this shot, and here it's just a little strong. Oh, you know what? That might be the light map resolution on the walls. Just turn that up a little bit and you'll be good. Sick, man. This is sick. The metal pieces here might be a little thick. So scale-wise, they're starting to feel a little large. Could be wrong. I mean, I haven't looked at the reference as much as you have, so. And then this shot. Yeah, okay, I think this works. I feel like this is very close, and maybe you need something here, or I don't know. Could be wrong. It's very heavily weighted on this side because of this, and I need something dark over here. Or maybe it just needs to cast darker, you know? Just do this. And then we'll do this. Presenting it like this could be interesting. The like movie like framing. Oops. So I think that balances it out much more, I think. But yeah, this is cool, man. It's looking really good. All right, drop suggestions, feedback, or things that on things don't tell now. Oh man, all those details. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I like it. It's like Studio Ghibli meets Wild West. I mean, that's pretty cool. So this looks like this is going to be a giant, like, crazy track that can actually hold that afloat. Hold that up. Getting late, guys. We got 2 minutes. And then I got to get out of here. How you guys doing? There's almost 70 people in here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a saxophone. Wait, is that... That's not a saxophone, is it? No. I don't know. Now my brain's thinking something else. No, that's not a sax. What is that? I need to stop that. I feel bad. YouTube, I'm sorry. YouTube people, I'm sorry. You don't get the musics. This is cool, though. I really like the idea behind it. Compositionally, it's going to be really detail heavy right around here. Alto sax. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, so this is going to be really heavily detailed here. And I'm curious as to what you're going to put in the distance here that's going to continue the Western look. It's like, I feel like you should have a... it'd be interesting to see a platform in which there are people board this way. And then maybe a trail on the side of it that people still ride horses to, like, rob house trains. You know what I'm saying? Way, way back on my mom's side, we've got train robber family. It's crazy. One of them was it's like great, whatever, how many greats. Grandpa on my mom's side was a Sundance kid. Crazy world. A path for the peasants. You, peasant. Take the path. You're like, oh, I don't want to take the path. Take that path, peasant. This is pretty cool, though. I like it. Looking forward to seeing more of this. It's kind of hard to tell where it's going yet. I think maybe holding off on this guy for a little bit and just solving the rest of the scene is probably going to help you sooner rather than later. So I would suggest looking into that, the rest of the scene, because it looks like you've already kind of solved this, and I mean, maybe you are looking into the rest of the scene because now you're building this guy. Now you're building this guy. It's pretty cool. Okay. I have to get out of here, guys. I'm sorry. I missed 3 of you on the end there. But I can't be too sorry because it was past the thing. But Spartacus, I'm just gonna copy the text here. We're going to where are we at here? I'm gonna paste it there. Those are the ones that I missed in chat. Feel sorry. Feel sorry. Feel sorry. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to paste those. And then I'm going to remove the time. I'm going to tag them, and then I'm going to get out of here. Just going to do that. There we go. All right, I put in art related. If you guys want to go check out their stuff, I strongly suggest you just give them something. Putting themselves out there is really, really something when it comes to being an artist in this world. Sticking your neck out, if you will. Anyways, tomorrow's Friday, so is it? Yeah. No, yeah. Tomorrow's Friday. You guys have a good weekend, and enjoy your weekend. I hope it's sunny wherever you're at for the weekend. I'll quit saying weekend now, okay? Hooray! All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the subs. And all the loves and the follows and all that jazz. You guys are the dope.